Welcome back to more Symphogear, where the world is such a dangerous place, and yet we can all enjoy a little musical concert or two. Now if only I could have someone appearing and giving me a free lunch, but we can't all be so lucky. Wonder what Chris is actually going to do in the coming episodes, if she's going to relax a little and realise that not everyone is just trying to use her, unlike those that have come before. But now there's a much greater danger on the horizon, thanks to this fabrically challenged character and their use of noise. But at least there's no issues with friendships anymore. But what are we going to come across? I was about to say, it sounds like a good, just calm day. No, we're not allowed. Surprise. I don't think they're here to serve a warrant. Now ours. All your base are belong to us. That's not a usual response. They were so quick to shoot before. What's stopping them now, though? I have no idea what you just said. But yeah, the idea that the scientist woman being there at the mansion, not surprising. I'm pretty sure it's been at least referenced or mentioned in some manner or another. I think heavily implied rather than just straight out told to us before. I just think I'm going to blank that entire section out of my memory, because I have no idea what was just said. It was impossible to actually focus on the subtitles. Why is it that reading subtitles while listening to Japanese and somewhat understanding some of the Japanese, simple. Listening to, could we call that English? While reading the subtitles? Nope, can't do that. But since we saw people in high up governmental places be ambushed and assassinated, having entire organizations kind of shifting their power structure, it's not noise you need to worry about, it's governmental officials with rifles. And then cut back to the school. How many signs for teacher's room do you need? Cut back to the school. I wonder how long they will actually be safe here at the school, though. Also, I just thought about it. If they have a secret organization underneath the school and using that as cover, if anyone really wants to take it out, you've just endangered every student. They didn't bring enough backup. I mean, he's been following. He would know if it was her who was actually at the core of this. A double agent. Now that's just mean. I was about to say, do not remove anything. First off, sure, you might not see the fishing wire attached to it all, but why are you touching shit like that without doing a full sweep? And even without gear, he can still do something. He said that without wavering, because they'd left her alone. Getting themselves killed in the process, leaving behind a daughter. And what about those that don't want to be beaten up for your beliefs? You just cause more division. Is this really the time and place for a heart-to-heart lesson? We don't know if there's more explosions or explosives wrapped around the place, or the structural stability of the mansion. Her understanding of adults in the world and what it all means, is it slowly being stripped away thanks to him? Just allowing herself a moment of vulnerability there and accepting everything. Is this what kind of speech did the other one give to her to get her to work under her? Does she not feel like she hasn't? She doesn't deserve a place there. I mean, there'll be a certain level of suspicion, surely, but if she has a communicator mixed with mixed with a prepayment card. So whatever this thing is, that's their next line of approach. He has a briefing to go through now. I mean, speaking aloud, not quite knowing what is going on, not giving all the details there. I'd actually forgotten about the hair and the glasses being stripped off and actually showing you. Did something happen? Sumerian? I wasn't expecting Sumerian lore and shit to be brought up. It's been lost for a while. It's more of a conceptual at this point rather than a physical place. Is she going to be able to recuperate from a gunshot wound like that? I mean, you got to take the trash out somehow. You know, if you miss the collection. There's some interference. And more in counting. Good thing this in the air. Can't exactly immediate touch onto people. It's going to start strike bombing the place. Is it just recon at the minute? Unless they're releasing noise spores into the air. Is there a vibration equivalent of napalm? She's, for better or worse, she is embroiled into it now. At least she knows the details, not just trying to be... I think he's trying to keep things away from her. Well, considering what we saw in the first episode, we know that she's going to be somewhat fine for a while at least. So she will always return to her side. Just raising flags like that. I mean, how many things does she want to say? I want to add in some of those cliche lines as well. Looks like they're converging on a point. So is there... Sky Tower. And what, are they going to get there and then they all just kind of separate and they've wasted the time? Or is it... I guess, okay. Using the Sky Tower as a representation for the Sumerian Tower of shit that they were talking about. Yeah, make the most of what you've got, I guess, rather than build your own thing. If it's a trap, it's one they can't avoid running headfirst into, just in case. Because if they let it go and the noise and whatnot, everything they want is there, they just let them have it. His turn to get involved as well. There it is. It could have been doing that across the city and causing more damage that they'd have to try and fix. Oh, there's proper little air force as well. Granted, she has the gear and whatnot to help her out, but there has to be a certain limit where a somewhat normal schoolgirl wouldn't just dive out of a helicopter without any parachute or gear like that. Using terminal velocity along with her gauntlet. Oh, that's... What about the bike? It's one of them down. Losing power before it reaches the height of the deployment bird thing. Those damn dive bombing carrots. Well, they've got to figure out a way. Why don't they throw each other? You've got some assistance in the form of ranged armaments. I mean, I didn't want to help. I just wanted the alarm to shut up. Well, I wonder if they need to pick up the receiver before getting into battle again. You are in the middle of a war zone. Do you have time to start hugging it out and saying, "Oh, I'm so glad you came"? I think you need to find a way of dealing with the ships that keep constantly just dropping more off as well. I feel like Chris is getting a bit more done than the others. Instead of one or two being hit and punched, just mow down the skies. Does mean I need to be friendly. A bit of a tenuous relationship here. And then she'll be the bridge between the two, right? Her best weapon isn't one that she can wield in her hands. But now they're becoming a triangle. The three of them can win through any battle with the power of friendship. I mean, you reached out first? Well, at least reached out. Did you forget about the noise? Does she have any heavy artillery to help out? Why didn't you start with that one? So it's just charging it. It will take a while, so they will need to keep her safe until then. Well, that's where they come in, isn't it? A plan that would only succeed if they accepted working together. She seems to be at least somewhat enjoying it, at least. And as far as the songs go, this one isn't too bad. And apart from double agents and those that are behind the scenes pulling strings and really just screwing things up, I would really like to know more about the noise and that whole entire side of it, which is such an enigma right now. What kind of targeting systems does it have? I would say her gear is slightly more effective. Jesus Christ, just keep your range so that they can't get in close. Now just don't let your guard down. Do you like the ash falling from the sky? And now that she's gotten rid of her gear, there's nothing she can do to escape the hugs that are going to be launched against her. Doesn't mean that she'd need to have to try to fight for her dream alone. It was a distraction. So what was that saying about putting the entire school in danger? But at least they got to work together there and have a bit of middle ground. A much better fighting with, if not friends yet, at least those that aren't wishing for your demise. It still makes me laugh when you've got, like Chris, who is so dependent on Finney. Why would, even if you've got everything you've won and she's disappointed you by failing, why would you throw that away and create an enemy that would just damage your plans further? There's... See, this is where, if I was in control of the noise, I would be so much more effective. If they had continued to just bombard the city with small drop soldiers while they were flying around before converging on the Sky Tower, they'd have to try and mop up all of that as well without having to, well, without being able to just drop everything now that they've completed this one and jet back off to the school. At least they'd have to leave one behind here to clean up what was in the city. From what we saw with Finna being attacked at the beginning in the mansion, normal governmental officials, if given the opportunity to strike by surprise, can actually be somewhat effective. They put a wound in her. The magic that she did to turn against them, and obviously they weren't really ready for that, but if they're so eager to shoot without asking first, as soon as she start pulling sparkly bullshit out of her pocket, why not light her up then? But the gun wound actually persisting afterwards, she can't exactly just immediately heal herself, so at least a little bit of damage has been done. Exactly how much, or if she'll need medical attention, is to be seen. And I think, honestly, with the addition to Chris on the team, they've filled a void they so desperately needed, as was shown here, some ranged combat. While they're busy trying to dive into the battle, laying down some covering fire, the Noise has been using these kind of tactics for a while. But with the episodes for Season 1 running dangerously thin, are we going to get more of the understanding of what the Noise actually are? And this season, also going to save it for the future and still just be one of those mysteries to deal with for the time being? And how long is it going to be before the story of the double agent here, the one that has been working against them, one that has been pulling the strings of all of the Noise appearing throughout the city, was so close? When's that new noise going to be broken to them? How's Vicky going to react to it? Or is it just going to be, well, you weren't needed to know because, well, she probably wouldn't act or respond to it too well. But with the damage being done to the school, having a phone call cut off in the middle of a conversation. These Noise really don't have any manners, do they? At least I don't think there'll be any tests coming up anytime soon. Mainly because, well, with half of the student base may be disintegrated, yeah, the class average is going to be all fucked, isn't it? But considering what we saw for the first few episodes, they're not adverse to start just killing multiple of the citizenry, so are any characters that have had speaking lines in this so far, and we've had a little bit of interaction with them, going to be put into mortal peril? I'm going to say probably yes. And we're going to have to work through that one, so if you want to change my entire outlook, come in with a steady hand and tell me of grand ideas for the future and your ideals and how to achieve it, consider letting me know down below. It seems like it might go a bit beyond what a YouTube comment can really do. It would help out the channel, so make sure to keep safe, get some rest, maybe subscribe if I've earned it today, or jump over onto my Discord if you want to talk a bit more. But for now, get some rest. See you in the next one. If you want to provide the covering fire to my little band of warriors that is my channel, consider joining onto my Patreon, helping out the channel whenever it's in danger, and all without having to go through a transformation sequence. So if you want to help this idiot watch some anime, you can join the fight alongside Noku, Raywin, Sal, Cardboard, Shiwan, Akane, Guado, Tori Jane, Kite, Light Wizard 91, Mega 42, Diego Zenhausen, SZ 9870, Croyville, Maxwell, and everyone else.